All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, I said that Gaethje told me why he's not fighting Michael Chandler. Not true. But I do know exactly why he's not fighting Michael Chandler. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Now, the reason I told that white lie is because I've watched every single person on the internet speculating why Gaethje isn't agreeing to fight Michael Chandler, and none of them getting it right. None of them. And I know exactly why. Ali Abdelaziz knows exactly why. The UFC knows exactly why. And a few other players know exactly why. People like Kamaru Usman, I would imagine, being that he basically lives with Gaethje, and Ali is also his manager. Now, first of all, first thing you need to do is understand that the way that everyone's looking at this is wrong. Okay? It's just, and I'm talking like all the way down to fighters, all the analysts, it's wrong. Okay? So everyone's looking at this from the perspective of who's in what position in the rankings. Okay, so yeah, Gaethje's ranked number 2, Michael Chandler's number 4, so of course they should fight. This makes perfect sense. It'd be a banger of a fight, okay? Now that falls apart because the lightweight division is not operating in the same way that it normally would right now, because ultimately what really matters is the incentive structure of the top 5 fighters, including the champion. That's what really matters. And normally, you have aligned incentive structures in that everyone wants the belt because the belt is going to pay you the most money because you get back-end points on the pay-per-view. The incentive is money. People thinking that like, it's about winning the gold and showing I'm the best. Maybe, yeah. I mean, part of it's that for sure. But to veteran guys who are older, it's about money. These guys are about money. And the belt equates to money. Okay, I know on the other side of the television, people are thinking like, oh, the glory of the belt. Okay, the fighters are thinking about, I'm making $2 million more on the next fight, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million more on the next fight. Okay, that's what the belt's about. Okay, so what I heard, the person who got the closest was the Weasel. Okay, the Weasel said, Ali Abdelaziz is getting in between this deal, and he thinks that if he just has Gaethje waited out, he'll be next in line for a title shot. Dustin will fight Oliveira, and that'll be that, right? Now, that is close to accurate. That's pretty close to accurate. However, misses a major point. Gaethje hasn't fought since October, okay? If he's going to wait out Dustin and Oliveira, who will fight in, let's call it 6 months, then you're gambling that neither of them gets seriously hurt. Like, I mean, dude, a guy can win a fight and break his foot. You know, a guy can win a fight and get battered, Oliveira and Dustin, and then won't be able to fight for another 8 to 10 months. You're trying to tell me that Gaethje is going to sit on the sideline and wait out Dustin and Oliveira? That's not accurate. That's not what's going on. He's not waiting for that. That's not what's going on. That is not what's going on. What's going on is that you have this other thing that throws a gigantic wrench into the entire incentive structure at 155 pounds, and that is Conor McGregor. Okay, Conor McGregor is the biggest juggernaut in the sport. He got the biggest pay-per-view. He just sold the biggest pay-per-view of the year. He had the second biggest pay-per-view of the year in January. He had the biggest pay-per-view in 2020. The guy is a sales machine. He is, I mean, and think about this. Coming out of that fight, he breaks his leg, he gets on the mic and threatens to kill Dustin's family. You understand how many fucking pay-per-views that event is going to sell when they do that fight again? Okay, so normally, Dustin, of course, would go fight for the belt. But Ali Abdelaziz and the UFC and all the real players understand there is no way that you can bank on Dustin taking that Charles Oliveira fight until that ink is on paper. Because Dustin, if he beats Charles, can't fight Conor because Conor has lost 3 of his last 4 fights and 3 in a row at lightweight. He's lost 3 consecutive fights at lightweight. You're going to give him a title shot against Dustin Poirier, given the stacked division? You can't. So Dustin knows if he beats Charles, he puts himself very far away from by far the biggest payday that he has sitting in front of him. He's in his 30s, dude. He's in his 30s. He's got a family. He's a guy who's doing charity. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go after the belt. He's just going to willy-nilly go after the belt. So there's an enormous likelihood that Dustin doesn't take the Charles Oliveira fight. He might. Conor's going to be out a year. But there is a big likelihood that he doesn't take that fight. Who's next? If Dustin doesn't take that fight, who's next in line? Chandler just fought him, okay? Chandler just fought him. Who's next? Justin Gaethje is next, okay? That's why he's not taking the Michael Chandler fight, because Dustin might not take the Oliveira fight, and Justin might get the Oliveira fight title shot right now. Now, which is a more enticing offer? Getting a title shot against Charles Oliveira, brand new champion, or fighting Michael Chandler, super dangerous, who's number 4? Okay, common sense. I don't understand how no one's getting there. I've not heard anyone getting there. Every single person is just assuming that Dustin's going to fight Conor, and I'm like, fight Charles, and I'm like, dude, guys, wake up, okay? That fight is far from a lock, far, because Conor can't fight for the belt immediately. And so if Dustin goes and wins the belt, he's waiting a year till Conor can come back, and then Conor would have to go get a win. And you have to A, pray that Conor wins, and B, and you might not even be able to justify a title shot then. Conor would have to beat a contender decisively. So that puts Dustin very far away from that $10 million payday, okay? So Justin smartly is waiting it out. And guess what? Given that no one else could figure this out, and I know a lot about business, this is the point where I'm just going to plug myself in. Ali, I will come work for you tomorrow, okay? I work in aerospace now. I will quit my aerospace job and I will come and work for you. I'm great at managing people too. Excellent with relationships. Or first round, whoever wants to put me on. But domination would be really cool. Extra cool. And I would be a very valuable asset because, chess pieces just make sense to me. Or the chessboard, I don't know. You get the point I'm making. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Now, here's the other thing. So where are we at for who's actually going to fight who, right? So who's actually going to fight who? Now, why does everyone want to fight Tony Ferguson? Why does everybody want to fight Tony Ferguson? Okay, the answer is because Tony Ferguson has a big name and he's an automatic win. That's how they're looking at it. Okay, Tony Ferguson is a launching pad for whoever. I think they would probably wait and give him to Conor if Conor wasn't going to be out for a year. But it's possible that Islam is going to get that launching pad. They'll give Islam to Tony because they'll say it's because of it's because they have unfinished business with Khabib, and in reality, that's going to be Islam's launching pad. Okay, they're going to use Tony's name to launch the next fighter. It would be much more convenient for the UFC if they could give him to Conor. Conor could get a win, and then they could say something about something and give him whatever they want. But Islam is going to fight Tony. I think that Gaethje will end up fighting Charles. If Dustin, look, I would say Dustin's 50-50 on taking the Charles fight. But if Gaethje is 50-50 to get the next title shot right now, he's not going to go sign another bout agreement until he knows whether he's got that fight. Plain and simple, right? Now, I really think that Dustin is highly likely to wait for Conor. I just do. Or go take some random fight or whatever. In which case, Gaethje would fight Charles, Dustin would fight a random, and then Chandler will end up fighting Dariush. That's how I think it's going to play out. Now, I could be totally wrong. Gaethje could end up fighting Chandler. Dustin could fight Oliveira, blah, blah, blah. But why Gaethje's not fighting him now is because he's waiting to see if Dustin's actually going to sign that bout agreement, because he gets it if he doesn't. That's it. Okay? Now, sorry I lied to you guys. I'm sorry. I just needed to get people to watch it because I knew I was right and every other fucking person was getting it wrong and I couldn't listen to it anymore. Anyway, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Peace.